it's travel day or it's travel evening. So we're getting ready to get on the road here. We got our first extended trip. So the first leg of the trip is going to be Martin Reservoir. It's just east of Pueblo here in Colorado. It's right on the border of Kansas and Colorado. So it's about 20 degrees out. We'll see what it's like out on the lake. It's probably going to be a late evening arrival. And then we'll stay the night there, continue on through Kansas, cut down through the panhandle of Oklahoma, and then ultimate destination right now is probably going to be a place called Logan in New Mexico. There's a lake out there called Ute Lake. We'll stay the night there and then continue on to Albuquerque, where we'll meet up with family, also in New Mexico. And then I'm planning on getting a room at the casino out there. There's a casino called Buffalo Thunder that's actually pretty nice. I've stayed out there a couple times. That'll give me the chance to be able to clean up, get refreshed and everything else, and then we'll make the full loop back to Colorado Springs. Thanks for joining me. Let's get on the road. One quick point I want to make about this. Remember, this is, in fact, although it's a teardrop trailer, it's still a trailer. So one thing I want to show is all the camping gear, my backpacking gear, which has a lot of stuff in it, the two trunks that I have all my kitchen and hardware and everything else, I was able to just throw in the trailer itself. Now granted, I'll probably have to use a dustpan and wipe some of the dirt and stuff off, but the really cool thing is, in the past I would have to take these trunks and load them on top of the roof of the Jeep, and really that took some time because they're heavy. You got to lift them up over your head. You want to put it in some sort of weatherproof case, which I had a vinyl system that essentially attached to the roof rack, but it would take quite a bit of time to manipulate, figure everything out, make sure the load is evenly distributed and all the rest of that. In this particular case, all I did was pull these out from under the tongue, throw them on the inside, and you still got to worry about weight distribution, so just keep that in mind when you load your own trailer. But notice I've got these in the middle of the trailer to keep that weight centered. Alright, so we got the trailer hooked up to the Jeep. One thing I want to point out is I definitely had to get an extension bar here, right, because I've got my spare tire carriage on the back, so I needed to be able to clear this for the ball and hitch system. Also, because the Jeep is lifted, I needed to get one of these adapters to be able to raise or lower the ball itself. So when I grabbed the trailer, I literally just grabbed it by the handles. Unfortunately, my camera died, so I didn't have the ability to show that, but I pulled it out of the garage by hand. Like I said, this thing only weighs 1,100 pounds dry, so it's pretty easy to maneuver. Once you get it out, then it's just your same old, use the trailer jack here to lift the wheel, get it on the ball and hitch system, clip everything together, and you're good to go. So, hey guys, we're getting ready to get on the road here. Trailer's already hooked up. Again, like I said before, these things are really lightweight. You can tow them with just about anything. This thing tows really, really easily. So you really don't have to worry about how this thing's going to handle. I had it out on the road on the last trip when I went to Antero, and basically I really didn't have to worry about that much. It wasn't pulling me around, even though it was windy and all the rest of that. So looking forward to it. I'll have some tips and tricks and explain some of the things to prepare for on a trip like this. So. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm out here at Martin Reservoir. It's just on the border of Colorado, right before Kansas. I got in pretty late. I ended up finding out that one of the hitch pins had issues, so I had to make a quick run over to Walmart, and by quick I mean 60 miles out of my way, but I was able to get that resolved, get back to the campsite, and then set up under the dark. Once I showed up, I found out that I wasn't exactly sure what was going on, but I couldn't get my furnace lit, the Mr. Buddy heater here. So I love these heaters. They work phenomenally. However, if you can't get it lit, you're in for a long, cold, miserable night. So, anyway, I was able to finally get it lit. It turned out to be an issue with the connector on the main propane on the tongue. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of a lingering cough, but in any case, once I finally got it lit, once I pulled up, the reading on the temperature was about 22 degrees. Right now, it's 66 degrees inside right now. 66 degrees, super comfortable. I've got, I'm going to sleep just fine tonight. I wasn't able to see the reservoir itself. It's supposed to be a pretty big reservoir. I'll probably do a little bit of fishing tomorrow. I don't have a boat or anything like that, obviously, but it should still be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll show you guys what the view out this window will look like tomorrow, because unfortunately I can't see the view right now. This will be the first time I'm setting up the percolator, so I kind of wanted to demonstrate that. So I got my coffee here. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some grinds in here. So they say about 1 tablespoon. They say about 1 tablespoon per cup. But I like my coffee a little bit stronger, so that's why I'm just pouring it in until it gets to, you know, that one little stem there. So I've already got my water inside the pot. Basically, all I'm going to do here is put it in, put the cap on, and wait 10 minutes. So obviously I already lit the burner. That was actually a little bit more difficult than I thought it was going to be. So what I found was removing, you know, this little grill cover here was the best way to do it. I removed that, used my my regular lighter here, and was able to finally get it lit. So again, we're at John Martin Reservoir. The RV site here is just below the dam, and really didn't have any issues. Obviously I got in a little late last night, but got everything set up. There is electric here. They've got both so the pillar here, one of the things that I thought was kind of convenient, and I don't know if it's this way everywhere since I'm new to this, but you know, they've got 3 different connectors, right? They've got the 110, the 30 amp, and the 50. So I'll tell you, you know, having the generator on board is great for boondocking, but if you have power, man, what a difference. I really didn't have to worry about running the lights or running any of the electric on the inside. So rates here for the electric were $21 for the day, and then they still make you pay the $7 car fee. So all in all, 28 bucks, not too terrible considering the alternatives. One thing, as you, I don't know if you can tell in the video or not, but this lake is frozen over. I wasn't exactly sure if that was going to be the case or not, but sure turned out that way. So I won't be ice fishing because the ice is definitely not thick enough, but we'll probably take a look around and check out the scene. So apparently this is a pretty major thoroughfare for a lot of the birds out here. I saw earlier this morning, I probably saw, I don't know, 1,200, we'll call it over 1,000 snow geese. Pretty cool to see. And then behind us, you can see the dam. I'm going to reposition the camera here. So you can see the dam off in the background. Maybe you can't, I don't know, based on the video quality, but just on the top there is where they're all essentially stopping during their migration. Pretty cool. I saw, for the first time ever, I saw a bald eagle fly right over the top here. Looks like he's looking for some food. So, and then I thought for sure I might catch a shot of him coming back, but unfortunately he veered off right at the last second. So I'm gonna hang out here. It's Sunday, just after New Year's. It's actually a week after New Year's, and probably start packing up, make my way over to Logan. So anyway, that being said, pretty cool trip. Enjoyed the time, but it's time to move on. Next video will be the next stop on our way for the loop back to Santa Fe ultimate destination, but we're going to go through Kansas, Oklahoma, and then back through Albuquerque. Hey guys, welcome to the inside of the New Camp Tag Outback trailer. I finally figured out that the GoPro actually had a wide enough lens on it to be able to provide a pretty good view and give you guys an idea of what the inside actually looks like. So we're on day 2 of a 4-day trip. The first day we stayed on the border of Kansas and Colorado on the lake, and now I drove from there out to Kansas, through the panhandle of Oklahoma, and finally into New Mexico. Tonight we're staying at Ute Lake, and the fees are pretty reasonable actually. So I think it was $18, and that included water, electric, hookups, and overall a better deal than the last place I stayed at. But either way, still far more reasonable than booking a hotel room. So some of the things you'll notice right off the bat, we talked about this big large window, which unfortunately you can't see the view right now. I'm getting in the habit of pulling into campsites and setting up camp at night, which I don't necessarily mean to do, but sometimes you just got to spend time at the places that you pull into to enjoy all the beauty. So one of the other things you'll notice here too is the Mr. Buddy heater, which I know I've talked about a number of different times, but at least now you can kind of see how it's hooked up, right? So you got the hose coming through the window. Basically that goes to the tongue. This thing has an oxygen sensor on it, so basically it'll shut off in the event that, you know, any CO2 or lack of oxygen occurs where I have to worry about asphyxiation. So I've still got the CO2 alarm as well, which I know I mentioned previously on another video. But in any case, I've also got the 14-inch Fantastic fan going on the minimal setting, so it's actually drawing air out. It's a lot warmer here in New Mexico than it was on the border of Colorado. So when I first pulled up, it's about 40 degrees out. It's been about 20-ish degrees in Colorado, so should be a pretty comfortable night. I'm gonna open up one of my favorite beers, the 90-minute IPA, and just unwind and relax, and maybe take a look and start editing some video, get comfortable, get a good night's rest, and then tomorrow we'll take a look at the lake. We're on the road again. We're just leaving Ute Lake, just outside of Logan, in New Mexico, and it's pretty windy out right now. So this will probably be maybe the windiest that I've ever been in as far as towing a trailer goes. So it'll be interesting. We'll take it slow. First we're going to go get some breakfast and some coffee. Much needed coffee. Which brings me to my point. If it's this windy out, with the kitchen being on the back of the trailer of all teardrops, it makes it pretty much impossible, depending on what direction the wind is coming in order to keep the burners lit. Or even if you can't get them lit, to keep them lit and at full strength. We're a little bit of a grumpy mood because I haven't had my coffee yet. Anyway, get some breakfast, some coffee, hit the road. Today's destination, we'll stop in Albuquerque first, and then continue on north from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, and meet up with my aunt, my dad, and my mom. Should be fun. Alright, so it's good news, bad news time. I found out that I did throw a rod in my 1996 Jeep Cherokee, which is basically what, in addition to the teardrop itself, I've invested quite a bit of money into the Jeep. The plan right now is to move forward with replacing the engine. I'm waiting on an estimate from Car Automotive, which is here local in Springs. They're the only shop in town. We'll find out what the damage is going to be. So we made it back home. It was quite an adventure. I had some video earlier, but I didn't realize that the audio wasn't picking up, so unfortunately we lost that video. But in the video I basically talked about the fact that this reliable Jeep XJ, it's a 96 Jeep Cherokee, finally the engine decided just to give out. So one of the pistons was fried. I ended up breaking down in a place called Springer, New Mexico. Ended up having to leave the vehicle down there, and long story short is we had to get the engine replaced on it. So it's fine. I was kind of planning it all along. It had 200,000 miles on it, which is actually, you know, a fair amount of mileage, but the engines have known to last a lot longer on these vehicles. So this vehicle is really, you know, going to be my primary vehicle for a little while, so it was worth it to me to invest to rebuild it. So I had him put a new clutch in, new thermostat, new engine. So for all intents and purposes, I have a new vehicle, and hopefully, you know, this will be a joyride, both in the vehicle with the trailer in the background there, and should be, you know, a lot of adventures to come. So no road trip ever goes according to plan, which is really part of the fun of having a road trip, right? And even, you know, with the trailer itself, is as things change, you just adapt and figure out, you know, what you want to do. If you want to stay, you know, I know we had talked about in this particular case, all the trips and stops that we had planned are exactly where we made it, but if I got too tired, I could have always just pulled over. So anyway, it was a great trip overall. We got a brand new engine, for all intents and purposes, a brand new vehicle, so I expect a lot more trips to come. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and should be a lot of fun. So we'll see you guys next time.